probabilities that we have done up till now are for single events. Now we need to do the probabilities of combined events. They were single events. We were choosing only one event uh, out of a set of outcomes from sample space. We were only choosing one event, and that's how we were getting, and it was very simple. Now these combined events ka concept is a little bit difficult. What you need to understand is that there are multiple events that are taking place, and we're going to find a combined probability of those multiple events taking place. Let's take an example of tossing a coin. Now, in the first time you are going to toss, you can get two possible outcomes, a head or a tail. And you can simply write the head or a tail as the sample space, head or tail is your sample space for tossing a coin one time, because the sample space tells the possible outcomes, then these are the possible outcomes. Now you need to see the probability of tossing the same coin second time. Now, the first time you tossed the coin, you got a head or a tail. Now, the second time you are going to toss a coin, you can either get a head or a tail, and there will be a combination. It can be either first head, then tail, first head, then again head, first tail, then head, first tail, then tail again. So there can be two heads, two tails, or a head or a tail in two different ways. Now, in order to express this, we can make a table which is known as a possibility diagram. So let's assume this is known as a possibility diagram, and let's assume that in the first toss that you did, you got a head, and then in the second toss that you did, you again got a head. So you have a possibility of head and a head. Then the first time you did, it was a tail, and the second time you did, it was a head. So you can again get a possibility of tail and a head. Then the first coin, if it was a head, you can get a tail in the second one, so the possibility becomes a head on a tail. And lastly, you can get a possibility of getting a tail first and a tail second as well, so you can get two tails. Now what you need to see over here is that this possibility of getting a tail and a head and getting a head and a tail, they may look similar, but they are not the same. Why are they not the same? Because the positions from which we are getting tail and head are different. In this one, we are getting tail first and heads second, whereas over here we are getting the heads first and tails as the second, and these positions or the sequence in which we are getting counts a lot in probability, and you need to focus on these. Now, up till now, we have done the possibility diagram and a simple set diagram. For tossing only one time, we can make a simple sample space. For tossing two times the same coin, we can make a possibility diagram. What if we are going to toss it three times? If we are going to toss it three times, we cannot fix that number of possible outcomes in a possibility diagram, and for that, we are going to make a tree diagram. What is a tree diagram? It's basically when in the first toss, then second, then third. Now, in the first toss, you can get either a head or a tail. Then in the second toss, you can get a head or tail after the head and a tail and head after the tail. And in the third toss, you can again get two outcomes in this way: head or tail, head or tail, head or tail. Now, these eight outcomes don't represent that you are getting eight solutions, However, they suggest that if you make a sequence of all the three tosses, then you can get either this whole sequence, then this whole sequence, or this whole sequence, and you can get all these possible outcomes combined. So this is how you make a tree diagram for more than two events that are occurring one after another. Let's consolidate this concept. When we made a possibility diagram previously and we also made a tree diagram, we had three tosses, whereas this diagram shows that we have only two tosses. We can make a possibility diagram or we can draw a tree diagram. Now in the first toss over here and the second toss is over here. In the first toss, getting a head or a tail, will the probability will be half. Why will it be half? Because you can either, the total number of outcomes that you can get by tossing a coin will be 2, right? And getting a head out of those two outcomes will be 1 over 2, because you only have one option in getting out of those two for heads, and same goes for tails as well. So that's why you have half and half in heads and tails, and later on also you have half and half for getting every outcome. Now when we see over here that we have a tree diagram, this whole line represents that we get a combination of heads and heads. This one represents heads and tails. Then this line represents tails and heads. And this one represents tails and tails. We made these all four outcomes in a possibility diagram as well. Now we are doing it in a tree diagram to learn the laws of probability. There are two laws of probability. One is the addition law of probability, and the second is the multiplication law of probability. Now we are going to do the laws of probability. There are two laws of probability. The first law of probabilities is the multiplication law of probability, and the second law of probability is the addition law of probability. Now, the probability, the multiplication law of probability will is basically for those events that can be done in two or more than two ways. What do I mean by this? Let's take an example. We have an event of getting two heads from this tree diagram. When we want two heads, we know that only this combination shows that we can get two heads. What will be the probability of getting two heads? We're going to first obtain first head, and obtaining first head will be half as the probability, and then we need to obtain the second head, and in order to doing so we again have the probability half. We're going to multiply these two to get the combined probability as 1 over 4 of getting two heads. Why are we multiplying? Because in order to obtain two heads, we first need one head and we need the second head. So when there is an and that is coming, the and that comes in between, it means we need to multiply. First we needed one head, and we needed the second head to make the combination as two heads, and that's why we multiply the probabilities of getting each head to get the combined probability of getting two heads. Between, you can simply write it down in English like I did, that in order to get two heads, I first need one head and I need another head, and that's how I know that I need to multiply these two probabilities. The second law of probability states that you need, um, the second law of probability states that whenever one event can be carried out in two or more than two different ways, then you can add the all the ways in which the event can be carried out. So basically, if we have a probability of an event getting exactly one. Now in this probability, we need a combination in which there is only one head. Now we can see from the tree diagram that these are the two possible outcomes in which we have only one head. When the exactly word is used, then we cannot consider this because this has two heads and we only need one head. So when we have two possible outcomes, then in order to get an exactly one head, there can be this combination or there can also be this combination. Now if you notice, I am saying or in between. So or means to add, because in order to get one head, we can either use this combination or we can use this combination, and this or tells us to add. Now how are we going to add it? First of all, this combination will be half into half as we did before, and this will be in brackets, because in order to get obtain this combination, we are adding obtaining a head and a tail by multiplying, and then we're going to add it with this combination, and this combination is again going to be half multiplied by half, which give us the answer as 1 over 4 plus 1 over 4, 2 over 4, or 1 over 2 as half. Now in this example, you can see that we are using the multiplication sign and the addition sign both. Why are we using this? Because we need exactly one head. So in order to obtain exactly one head, we have two combinations, either this combination or this combination. And in order, if we delve into this particular combination, to make this combination of head and tail, I need to have a head and I need to have a tail. So I have an and in between. And over here as well, in order to make a tail and a head combination, I need to get a tail first and then and in between and a head. So we have multiplication in terms of and we have addition in terms of or. So we can find the probability as half. Let's review. When we have an and in between, then we are going to multiply, and when we have or in between, then we are going to add. Or will usually come when one event can be carried out in more than one way, and will usually come when, in order to obtain a particular event or complete an event, you need to multiply different probabilities. So and or rules of probability. Okay, so the last thing that we need to do over here is to study what replacement and not being replaced in the probability questions mean. So as you can see, just assume that we have a box over here in this red color and we have blue and black pebbles inside. So the blue pebbles are 8 and the black pebbles are 6. You need to find out the probability that you get first a blue pebble, then a black pebble, in this order only. In order to find out this probability, you first need to identify what is the probability of getting a blue pebble out of the total number of pebbles that are present. So what are the total number of pebbles that are present? 14. And getting a blue first will be 8 over 14. Now you need to find out the black pebble, and you are finding out the probability of first blue and then black. So you have an and in between and you don't have an or in between. So that's why you're going to add a multiplication sign. Then getting a black pebble will be 6 over 14. Now in the second part, it states that you need to find the probability of two blue pebbles being taken one after another and not replaced. So that means that when you take out one blue pebble, you do not keep it back and you then again take out another blue pebble. So the first thing is that you need to take out one blue pebble. Getting out a one blue pebble, out of these 14 pebbles will be 8 over 50, 8 over 14. And then you take out another blue pebble out of the total number of pebbles. Now, what are the total number of pebbles that are present? They are going to be 13. Why? Because one has already been taken and not being kept back, which is not replaced. So the total number becomes 13, and the probability of getting a blue pebble again will become 7. Why? Because first we had 8 blue. Now, after taking the one out, we have 7 blue left, and this will give us the probability of taking out 2 blue. Why are we adding a multiplication sign in between? Because we need 2 blue one after another. So that means 1 blue and 1 blue more. So this is how you do it.